Yeah, so I was traveling through space with my friendly Starship. You see, it is friendly because it has a hat on. And yeah, I was on some sort of a mission, like you could call it self-employment or whatever. Like I didn't have any goals or anything. I just thought I'd do my own thing and get self-employed. And yeah, in my guts, I felt this was the right way. I didn't know where I was headed, but I just knew I was. It felt good. I was on the right track, I guess. And I had contact to Earth, to my friends, to my girlfriend, to my family, to the ones I love. Everything seemed to be just perfect. But yeah, as life plays, at some point there was a huge storm coming up in front of me, and things got really ugly, and it really just came like, bam, here I am. And there was no way going around it, and I think my perception of life changed in that moment, and my perception of myself changed, because this storm really moved a lot in my life, and as I said, it got pretty ugly, and I think I reached a point where I was out of control in the storm. Like there were feelings involved I've never experienced. You know, when you get out of your comfort zone, at some point yeah, there's things you don't know. And when you meet them, it's kind of strange because you've never, it's like being a child, you know? When you're a child, you experience the world for the first time. And this is one of those moments. And, but yeah, at some point, the storm spit me out on the other side. And what I saw was some sort of a new world. It looked exactly the same like the one I'm already living in, but it was somehow different. And when I got spit out of the storm, I was already kind of in the atmosphere, like I was getting pulled by it, so I was crashing. You could, maybe some people would call it burnout, I don't know. And this is the story where I met my alter ego, I guess, Loveboy, and where I met his imaginary friends. And this talk is about why I started a band with imaginary digital friends. Yeah, going back to the start, I was a graphic designer working at a company in St. Gallen, and 9-to-5 job. Well, it was 8 to 5:30, a bit longer, even worse. And everything was good. I was living my life as most people are. And I had no purpose, I guess. I was just working. And then at some point I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna get me a Starship and I'm gonna go on my own adventure. And yeah, that seemed to be a good idea. Of course, when I called my dad, he wasn't very happy about that. He said, "Nah, you gotta stay at this company because it's a huge company. It's a good company, good in your CV. You know, the things you heard, the things you hear when you tell your dad that you want to go get self-employed and do your own shit." And yeah, where do you get a Starship, or where do you get one? I was lucky that my dad kept all my childhood sketches. Like I have them in boxes at my home, and I always go through them. And in those boxes, I found a sketch of a Starship, and it was my probably, I don't know, 7-8-year-ish old me that painted that Starship. Like as if he knew that at some point I'm gonna need it. And it was when I was still young and handsome. Well, I'm still handsome, I'm still young. So now it was just me when I was a child, and of course, my 25-year-old me thought it's a good idea to get a starship that my child, like me as a child, painted and go on adventures. Yeah, good idea. Going back to that planet or Earth or world or whatever it is I landed on after the storm, my state of health was really bad. Like, it's not even funny, but I can't laugh now, but back then it was pretty shitty for me. And you know, when you feel shitty, I guess we could call the planet rock bottom, maybe. And when you hit rock bottom, for me, there were two questions involved. Like, they were really pressing, and that's, where am I and who am I? And to find answers, you have to go look for the answers, you know? And hence, we travel. And I think it's funny that nowadays people travel far. They think they can find the answers in Asia or South America or wherever the plane takes them. But I think people travel far, but they don't travel deep. And I think life changed my course and put me right into myself and really deep into myself, where I could and should find those answers probably. I'm still not sure if I found them, but I think I found something. And yeah, this world, it was actually pretty much the same as the ones we're all living in, but because it's my world, it's some sort of different than to all of your worlds. Everyone has their own world, I guess. And yeah, imagine landing in a world that combines everything you've ever been and everything you are. And so I landed on a world that was filled with dinosaurs that looked like childhood paintings with rainbows, and the weather changed like your mood of your mental health. And it was quite overwhelming, actually. But because I was trapped and my starship was crashed, I had to stay on that planet and I had to go explore. And what I found was quite funny because, for example, I went to a party with dinosaurs which had like disco balls as bellies, and they like to dance around black volcanoes that spit glitter. And it's like, yeah, it's quite funny. And it's quite funny. And also I met a cat which was pretty fucked up. I don't know if those things some sort of represent myself in some way, but yeah, I met a really fucked up cat, and she took me to a party, to a rave after the dino party, and we got really fucked up. And yeah, you can't get hangovers in yourself. I don't know. It sounds pretty strange, but yeah. So after this party with this cat, I woke up on a golden island in the middle of nowhere. And imagine it was pretty small. Like, there was only me, and there was this cactus I met. This is Monsieur Actus Rockhart. and he was the only guy on this little island. And at first he chased me, like he ran towards me. I don't know if you have ever seen a cactus running, but it's pretty scary if they can move. And so he chased me around this island until we were both out of breath, and we sat down and we talked. And he told me that he didn't want to do anything bad to me, he just wanted to give me a hug. And that showed me that, you know, sometimes those things of life, they are good, they're needed. Although they hurt, you need them. Okay, so we became friends. And we thought, let's get off that island. And of course, on an island, have you ever been on such a tiny island? There's only water around it and sky, blue sky. And it was not a dream. So we had to go with what we had. It's not a dream where you can think of, oh, let's get a boat. Here's a boat. Let's ship to the shore. No, we were just on this island trapped together as friends, and we faced blue skies and blue water, and that's where we met this dolphin that came up from the sky. You know, we always looked at the water. We thought at least some sort of animal could come from the water. No, he's dead. And that's Beefin McDowell, and he came from the sky. And I think he was sent from my grandmother, which died last year. And he took us to the shore. He was a pretty friendly guy, although he's quite an aggressive guy. You know, those drivers that get really upset in the traffic. You know, they're super cool, and at some point someone else does something and they lose their shit. He's kind of that guy. Probably also me in some sort of way. So yeah, and of course I became friends with him as well. So we were 3 guys, and we got to the shore, and we faced a huge jungle. And we started walking through that jungle, and at some point we found a karaoke bar somewhere in the jungle, in my inner self. It sounds really strange if I say that like this, but I hope you can like just lose the reality for this talk. And in this karaoke bar, which was like, imagine those bars which have biker gangs in front of them and Hells Angels or whatever, but instead of people it was jaguars, and they were pretty like, you know, those angry cats. They looked pretty angry. And when we got in, we saw that they're actually pretty nice people, nice animals or whatever. And that's where we met Lampard, which he told us he's a jaguar himself, but only half. He doesn't look as good as sharp and as aggressive as a jungle cat. That's because his mother was a jaguar, but his dad is a lemon. And don't ask me how that happened, but yeah. And yeah, that's how I met my future friends, like imaginary friends. And these animals or things show me things for life. Like the dolphin showed me that the dead keep living on in ourselves, and they're not lost. They can still reach out and help us go our way. And the cactus, as said, showed me that the bad things are not only bad, they happen for a reason. And Lampard is still teaching me not to take myself always so seriously, and that's quite refreshing, I think. And what do you do with people like that? Of course, you found a band, and that's why we thought let's start a band. Wait a second. Okay. I didn't even have to read. Yeah. And I think as a band, you need a message. You need something to tell. Because I don't believe in people that do things for nothing. That can, I mean, nowadays we see it can be successful, but I think I'm not the person that does something just because of money or something. So we thought we need a message, and our message was love, and our message was change, because I think that's what happened in this world, and that's what they showed me. So we thought, yeah, to spread a message as a band, you need a logo. So we thought, why not let's redefine love? Because I always felt like some sort of misplaced. I thought there's something missing, and I think nowadays it feels like this for many people. I think it feels like that for gay people or for handicapped people or anything. Like, I think there needs to be space in between this heart. There needs something new. And that's how we came up with the logo. And we thought this old way of this two-cheeked heart that is always connected to two people getting married. Of course, it has to be a woman and a man. And that's old. Let's try something new. And of course, Beefing got a tattoo because he loved the idea. He's kind of the bad guy of the band. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. And for the end, I think what I found in this world was some sort of a gift, and not a gift, maybe a purpose. And as Pablo Picasso said, to quote a really great guy, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of your life is to share it. And that's why I want to ask you guys, have you traveled to your own little world in yourself and have found something that you want to share with other people? And that's it from my side. Thank you. Thank you.